Once you've become a composter, you have to go looking for a composting center. Here in the heart of Vancouver, the city farmer is giving people lots of ideas on how to make their yards more productive. And as part of that, they have an extensive array of composters in all sizes and shapes. Let's take a tour.
Sure, this particular one that we're standing at is a one from North Van that a small manufacturer has made. And this one comes in 3 different sizes, the 1 bin, 2 bin, or 3 bin. And this is ideal for a very large family or a co-op situation, perhaps an apartment situation, because it's very large. It's got posts on the bottom that he puts in with cement, so it's very sturdy. It's very easy access. Both doors come up, and it's all lined with 1/2-inch wire mesh, which is what we found to be hopefully the best to keep the rats out, you know, all rodents. And for mice, if you're worried about mice, we suggest going down to 1/4 inch. This is actually the opposite from the larger model. It's a very small model. It's called the Chekai, I believe. And this one is also screened with wire mesh, but this is ideal for the apartment composter. And it has wire mesh on the bottom and all lined with wire mesh. The lid is lined with wire mesh. It's rodent-proof as well. And it's small, and perhaps it won't, you know, this is an idea that it won't get the heat, because a lot of the composting comes from the volume, that there's so much heat. And when there's less volume, it won't get that heat, but it'll still be decomposing. It's always be working. So this is a good one if you don't have lawn clippings going in, if you just have your veggies going in and something to soak up that moisture. This is a really good one. Or doesn't want to be getting right into their compost with the pitchfork and the shovel and turning it, and they want to have something that they can easily just flip over every day or every couple days. In that way it gets aeration and everything gets turned, which is the whole idea of a more efficient compost. And I believe that the rotating ones do go a little bit faster, but they don't hold quite as much. So you might want to have about 3 of these going. And this has been coming along for about 2 months, and this is yard waste and kitchen waste and a little bit of manure. Now this one is available at Beaver Lumber for $49 as a kit. And this is a decent little composter. It's lined with mesh, and the door comes up so you can get into it, and also rodent-proof. All of our composters here have to be rodent-resistant, because we're trying to prevent a problem before it happens. This one is our Mercedes-Benz of composters. This is a German model, and this particular one is called the Rosie. And the whole theory of this again is the turning, and as it turns, the finished compost is screened onto the bottom trays. And you can have trays there, you could have little buckets there, and then you just scoop out the finished product. So this is kind of funky.
This one has a little ways to go to be ready though, I guess.
Yeah, but it all is ready at different times. Like as it's ready, it comes out. Yeah. So we have taken a little bit out from beneath it in the trays. And this model is called the Earth Maker, and this is a local design. And this is basically a large garbage can design with some adaptations. One of them is a door in which you can take out the finished product. And the other are the holes in the side and the holes in the bottom. And because it's black, it insulates it more and keeps the heat in. And that's all for trying to build up that heat. Right. So this is a nice little one that you could have in your backyard. And no one would ever know. Okay, this one is an adaptation to a small garbage can. If you don't have a lot of room or a lot of money perhaps, because this is a real cheap way to go. This is a garbage can with basically an aerator. Now this particular one we got from Ontario, but you could really use anything. All it is a pipe through the middle that sits on a stand, and it's got aeration all the way through it, so that when your compost is all around it, it's constantly getting aerated, and perhaps turning it and watering a little bit might be necessary. And this is called the VAM vat. And this is an excellent one, considering that the venting that it's got in it. Now how this works is it's got 4 vents on the bottom. And if you can see, here's one here, right there, there's a vent. And what happens is there's air holes on the bottom, and it comes up, and when the lid is turned where the oxygen symbols are lined up, the venting comes out. So if it's too wet, you can put it on the venting, and if it's getting too dry, all you have to do is turn the lid. And it really holds in the moisture, holds in the heat. You can get your finished product out of the door, and it's a good little composter. This one is called the Wireman, and this is also made locally. It's made in Langley. And the nice thing about this one is that it gets a lot of aeration, and heat will really build up in here. And we were always surprised when sometimes we take the temperatures of all the composters, and this gets very hot in the inner core because it's got so much circulation of air. And this front door can open right up, and you can get in and pitchfork it if you like, or you can do it from the top. And we have a poker that I should show you. It's something that goes down, and then as you pull it up, the flaps open so that you get an air passage through the pile. And the lid you can also use as a screener. It's excellent. You just put your wheelbarrow underneath, and you screen your compost, and then you've got beautiful compost to put on your garden. And this is one that basically City Farmer has designed. And this is simply wire mesh with 2 lids, 2 plastic lids, top and bottom, 1/2 inch, 16 gauge wire mesh. And it's got to be at least 16 gauge because it's got to be able to hold the structure of it. And you just fill it up, and again, it's got a lot of circulation and aeration.